Hey, Koshik. You got no Alma levels today. I feel a little bit naked as a result. But kind of forced me to come up with the levels. Not really, but forced me to kind of review the gamma chart a little bit more thoroughly. But I'm not really seeing much until 74.50 to the upside for rejection. Yeah, let me know how that SMT indicator is. The ones I've used in the past were pretty garbage. Straddle's about 45 points. Opened right under the 74.05 gamma peak. Yeah, I haven't seen that one before. Ooh, the option change on TradingView. Nice. I heard about that. I've never pulled it up before. Do you know if it's up to date? Or is there like a 15-minute delay on it? Yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, you should be able to tell what the straddle is just by looking at where the at the money is right now. So where are we at? Like 7,400. What's the price of the option? Where is it? There's no bid ask on it. Distance spread. Hey, I'm not familiar with reading this. Where's the bid ask? Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, the bid ask would give you what the going straddle is, and at the money it's just currently 7,400. Why is it showing the center at... See, right now it's showing the center at 74.17. 74.17. What is that based off of? ESM 2026. Oh, it's ESM. ESM. Okay, this is the ES. Okay, okay. That makes sense now. ES option, sorry. It's only pricing in a 20-point move from 74.20. Try SPX. Curious what you get for SPX. If SPX would even show up. I'll have to mess around with it later. Yeah, I do like the down move. Yeah. I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be a tough one. 405. YM is pushing down here. How much more down does it have? Quite a bit of SMT here. Overnight level has not swept yet on ES or on NQ. I'm going to transfer over to the gamma chart here. Because that's going to tell us much more. So the gamma, so opening at 7,400 was like not that big of a surprise considering it was the balance here, especially in this range. Now we're just hovering around here. I want to see if we break above or below, but the gamma peak, so far we're holding underneath it. If we break above, I would like to see it kind of run towards 74.20 and then see how we react there based on this negative positioning cluster. Below, there's not much positioning, so maybe nothing until 73.65. 73.65. And maybe nothing until about 73.65 below. Maybe 73.5 2 on SPX. No trades overnight for me. Let's see if we can sweep this overnight level. Very slow though this morning. I want it to be biased down, but like right here, it's pretty balanced. Great. Come on, don't shortchange the sweep. I really wanted that sweep. And dang it, it did not want to do it. Yeah, that 5-minute close looked like it wanted to move up. 73.90. Our service PMI came out. Nothing at 10. Straddle's at 45, and we have no Alma levels today. 2400 has large volume, yeah. All right, let's see here. Oh no, I'm getting a straddle of, hang on, is that correct? Yeah, ES and SPX looks the same to me. It's about 20, 21, 22 points. So the way that you've actually been using the straddle makes more sense to me. Because I actually just realized this now. What the heck? Because the straddle is 40 points. It priced in 40 points of movement. So you're correct. Like, this is the way that you've been using the straddle is spot on. Because I didn't realize that he used the straddle as like the sum of the call and put. I thought it was just the call and the put, and I had to I thought the option was pricing in 40 point move on both sides. But it's not. It's actually only pricing in a 20 point move on either side. Oh, yeah. Well, you're using it correctly based on how vol signals calculated it. So like, so what you see from because for whatever reason, I never ended up really checking, but if you look at the bid and ask at where the balance is, or at the money price, so right now it's at 74.19-ish. You should be somewhere around 20 points on either side. About 20 points, maybe 21 points on both sides, which is how you get like the 42 straddle. So if you went with a call, if you bought a 74.20 call, for instance, it won't pay off until after 74.40 because it costs 20 points, right? That's what it's pricing in. It's pricing in that move from 74.20 to 74.40. And then to the downside, the put costs 20 also. So from 74.20 to 7400. But if you played the straddle is buying the at the money call and buying the at the money put. So you add those two together. So 20 plus 20 equals 40. So in order to break even, if you're playing the straddle, you need a 40 point move in either direction. But don't get me wrong, if you buy a call at 74.20 right now, and we're at 74.30, you'd be up right now, like X percentage, like about, I don't know, let's say, I actually don't know what the pricing is right now. Let me see. Yeah, you'd be up like 15% maybe. No, 20% actually. 20 to 30%, which would be pretty good. But not asymmetric right now, because if you only expected a move to 74.30 on ES, like I wouldn't use options to play it. For that one, I would use futures. Where you find asymmetry is probably like close to the, I don't know, sometimes like close to the end of the day, like the later half of the day. You might see options going for, I don't know, let's say $3 to $5 in premium. So the straddle would be anywhere between $6 to $10. And maybe there's a target that you had in mind. Like let's say 74.60 was the target. That's asymmetric. And you would get like close to like, I don't know, what would that be, like using $3 as a benchmark. You'll go from here 74.30 to 74.50. That's 20 points. So you're getting like 6 times your money back, 7 times your money back. And that's what you call asymmetry. $74.15, $74.20. I want to see $74.20 here. Oh, BE's break even? Yeah, that makes so much sense. That's all you really have to pay attention to, I guess. Because the break even should basically be the strike plus the bid ask, and then it should equal the break even. I was bearish too, but right now, $74.20. Yeah, actually, I really like that. 74.18 was the rejection there. YM is still trying to push up here. I wasn't sure if we were going to try for the gap fill. But if we do, we're going to end up in like this balance zone here. Yeah, I'm hoping, let's see. I want to give it a shot, but I'm just going to wait for this 5 minute to close first. I wanted to see that 74.20, and we ended up hitting 74.18, I think. Maybe 19. I won't rush into it though. I'll give it a second. It's really close to the gap fill. I mean, that was half gap, I believe. Yeah, that was pretty much half gap. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I just want to see this 5-minute close. Oof. I don't love it. Maybe on NQ, but is it worth a shot? NQ looks better to me, but I'm gonna wait. Screw it. Let's give it a shot. I think it's early. But my risk is about 4 points there. So I'll hold that risk. Yeah, I'm gonna get hit out. I just think the reason why I think it's early is because there was potential for gap fill. Yeah, I'm out there. I'll wait and see. 74.20. We're hovering around 74.20. See it push to 74.25 here. And then at that point, I would consider it close enough to gap fill. But 420. Like the true rejection spot that I wanted to see, but now it's changing. Yeah, it's changing. 74.25. And I also have 74.40 SPX as being magnetic. All right, let's see what that news was. There's no news. Iranian official denies reports that Iran's supreme leader said that uranium must stay in Iran. That's why we tanked this morning. It was because of that comment from Iran. They're really trying to control the narrative. VIX is coming down. Still hovering here. Are they? Like to me, 74, it's still hovering at around at 20 plus minus. Or you mean like the 7400 or the 7420 that we were tracking earlier? Yeah, they should be increasing. All right. Hovering between 7420, 7425 here on SPX. And if we're going to come down, this is the time to do it. Silver bullet in play. Is it silver bullet long? Normally silver bullet is what you break through a breaker and then retest a fair value gap. I don't see it. What time frame are you looking at? I'm gonna try this here. This is gonna hurt if it's not right. $74.05. Oh my goodness. $74.05 is just growing. That is massive. Only from 10-11. I see. Yeah, 74.05 is massive. I'm not sure. That's going to take a lot of effort to head down. I think it's a put spread, a long put spread. Damn. I'll be damned if that's... Oh my god, it keeps growing. I think I'm just gonna cut this. Yeah, that position's growing and I don't really like it. $24.05. Yeah, it is a put spread. They're long put. They're a long put spread there. It's gonna take a ton of effort to run through that. $74.05. Wow, it's growing like massively. That's like 4K positions right there. I don't like that at all. It's basically that 74.05 basically acts as a line in the sand now. Upside drift. Aside from that, it should be upside drift. I do like a retest of 74.05, which makes sense. It's very possible based on fair value gap there too. Yeah, good discipline. I'm kind of messing around a little too much here. I'm just gonna wait for it to show its hand first, and then take any positions then. This here in theory is like a balance zone. 74.20, 74.25. Come back down, touch the fair value gap. Got pretty close to gap fill. Oh, this is gonna be painful. $74.05. Yeah, 74.05. That's kind of that line in the sand. Sitting around 74.10, 74.11 right now. The daily position here also shows a peak gamma trough. Yeah, no, sorry, peak gamma. This green line here. I should have just waited for that to play out. $15 looks good. But yeah, this 74.05, 7400 position is a put spread, customer put spread. Betting on downside. Back to POC now. Okay, now the question is it a long from here? Like, or are we gonna bust through? Iran and Oman are discussing a permanent Hormuz toll. That was a 10:15 news there. Still bear bias, but that 74.05 had me a bit worried. Because we were likely to bounce off of it. And we're getting that bounce now, but did you get anything from your SMT indicator? Because I wasn't seeing anything. I suppose you might have had somewhat of an SMT on a lower time frame, maybe 1 minute at around like 10:10, 10:11. But that's pushing it. Yeah, that's what I found with the SMT indicators too, whenever I use them. You should try the one that I found to be more consistent was the Lux Algo SMT divergences. That's what it's called. Lux Algo, LUXALGO SMT divergences. But even then, like, it doesn't pick up on like shorter time frame. Like you kind of have to mess around with it in order to get what you want to see. And then it's not very consistent either. Okay, so YM is holding this up right now, not budging. That's okay. I think we're floating down now. Starting to push down. Okay, so NQ, it's getting close to its overnight low sweep. I think that's the drawn liquidity there. And that initial short that I closed out, I'm like kicking the air right now. All because of that 74.05 that came on. NQ is getting pretty close to sweeping there. But I think the bear bias was correct. I actually wanted to see it run down to towards 74.60, 74.70, around there. Charm is also suppressive, though not very significant in terms of magnitude at this time. All right, that was a low of 73.91 on SPX. Just watching the 5-minute SMT here between ES and NQ. We're looking at the 945 low and the 1020 low. two are divergent. But I want to see a sweep. Yeah, I would the only thing I would caution about with the options chain is the the volume or the no, volume's okay. The open interest is generally um could be misleading depending on how you want to review it or how you interpret it. Main reason why I really like, so if you're using OI, which is open interest in the options chain, then I would say it's better to reference the breakdown by strikes that you see here on OptionsDepth, because it at least they differentiate the puts and calls appropriately from a dealer hedging perspective. And generally, when you look at GEX, you're looking at it from a dealer's hedging perspective. Volume is interesting because volume will just tell you which one is traded the most. But what if they had like massive positioning at 7,400, like 10,000 positions, let's say, and then they closed it all out. And then in total, it will show 20,000. But the position's no longer there. Which is why it depends how you want to use it, I guess. Though I think it's still valuable information that you can decipher from it. $7,400 balance. Yeah, at the beginning of the day, I wanted to see a move towards 73.65. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be like a smooth run towards 73.65. Like the daily, this is the daily here. So this positions without intraday updates. And the 7,400 to 73.90 should be sticky around here. And then there's no real positioning up until 73.65. And above, you have this sticky area, 74.25 to 74.45. That'd be pretty sticky and slow. Or magnetic. And I think the high of day was 74.25. So we only ended up reaching about here. $24.90. Yeah, that SMT seems to be holding very well between ES and NQ. That 945 low and the 1020 low. Yeah, here's the SMT here. Let's see how long this holds. Especially being so close to the overnight low. See what the straddle price is currently. About 37 points. So 18.5 both ways. Oshik, what do you see from an order flow perspective? Anything worth noting? Right now, we've just been chopping it around. Seems like a lot of headlines are coming out too. OPEC Plus is likely to agree to an oil output quota hike of 188,000 barrels per day at the June 7th meeting. Yeah, I see what you're looking at. Let's see here. YM and NQ are moving like opposite directions, so it's a bit painful to watch the two. Nvidia had earnings last night too, and it is down on the day. It's kind of just hovering around this gamma peak level. From a daily perspective. And typically, like that peak level is normally somewhat magnetic. Up to here, 74.40. But the profile, I think, suggests that customers are short volatility around here. I was hoping to see a run towards the gamma trough, more specifically 73.65-ish. and then play a reversion off of that. Yeah, more SMT. YM is kind of giving away here. Let's see how this 15-minute closes. NQ doesn't want to give yet. But YM is starting to do its pullback. Definitely not seeing anything high probability here. Is this the one that you want to see? The table? What strike do you want to see specifically? I can hover over it. 5950, 5950 ES or 70. Oh, wait, I'm not sure what you mean. 5950. You want to see 5950? Technically, they're about a 20-point difference right now. What strike equates to 5800 ES in SPX? It would be about 5780, I guess. Let me see here. I think I'm gonna have to open. Do you know which expiration you want to see? May 26. May 26. Hang on, this might be the easiest way to do it. May 26. So that expiration is still what, weeks out? That's weird. So I think what we're seeing here is they didn't fill out the strikes at 5800 or below, like, you know how you're asking for like every 10-point interval? So technically you're looking for, if you're looking for 5800 ES, you're looking for 5780, but 5780 doesn't exist on that date because we're so far out of the money. Like we're talking about almost 2000 points. So there's not, like, they don't create options for that, right? And instead they happen to be maybe 100 point apart, which is what you're seeing here. So you'll see 5900, you'll see 5700 on that date. So it's like every 100 points. And then if you look at the end of month is normally like one of the best to look at. And end of month. So end of month and the monthly expirations are the best to look at because they offer the most strikes, because major hedge funds and portfolio managers use those. So like for instance, May 29th, you have every single strike covered, even though this is well out of range. Like 5800 SPX is way out there, right? So you're showing me big volume on May 26th, specific date. This is volume, correct? Yeah. I'm not seeing anything there. Have you tried looking at SPX specifically? Damn. Okay. Never mind then. It's very possible that we do get a headline if like the weekend is technically when everything moves these days. Though I don't think we'll head all the way down there if that's what you're thinking. So May 26th, I'm seeing 71.55, and this is technically 71.55, 6,000 positions. It is a customer long put. So that to me is betting on downside, but wait a second. There is also a 71.65 customer short put. So this is a put spread. They are collecting premium here. On this 10-point wide put spread. So they're betting that by Tuesday, price will stay above here, above 71.65. We're still hovering around this peak gamma level on the daily. Low vol. Nothing is pushing us out of this low vol area, low volatility area. I still haven't picked up the Lucid account yet. That was 50% off. So I'm giving it some good thought. I assume you end up getting the 50% off too, off Lucid. Like it should be in your vault, right? Wow, this price action is just absolutely brutal. It's almost as if we're waiting for a headline or something. $74.65 is also building. It's a call spread. A 20 wide call spread. Customer call spread. When did that come in? Because it was always there. If this doesn't realize, then we're going to drift up here. If this doesn't realize, then we end up drifting down here. This is the balance. If we can escape that 74.05, then I would think we're going to head lower towards 73.75. But right now, it's a whole lot of nothing. I don't think we can do anything here until something happens. By something, I mean like a sweep, a run towards 73.75, a run up. Overnight lows are still available on ES and NQ, untouched. Previous day highs swept last night and offered a decent short. Mind you, the short would have probably been off of the hourly level. My bias is still down towards 73.75, but I don't want to get killed anymore. I'm trying it. Looks like we're finally going to push down for that overnight low there. On ES. Not sure about NQ though. Still a little bit of ways. About 50 points away for NQ. YM is starting to spool down a little. Retrace most of its morning move up. I'm actually not sure what's happening, but we're getting a lot of impressions today. More than I would normally get in the morning. It looks like some people stopped by and then left and then stopped by and then... I can't tell if they're the same people, but... But they stayed for a reasonable period of time. Are you kidding me? It's not gonna sweep again. Gotta love today. Koshik, are you still following like the Gexbot stuff? Just curious. I think you said you discontinued the subscription, right? But I know you had followed a YouTube feed that offered it for free. Gotcha. I'll send you something I was looking at. Mainly because Alma is not here. I tried to kind of come up with like a read of what the market might be showing. That's based off the daily gamma chart. It initially, so this is something that Alma was kind of teaching. Wait, hang on. Let me see something. Yeah, so yeah, so just going back to that gamma chart that I had sent you and the markups that I had done, they're more or less something I learned from Alma on how to read these things. Any news? U.S. Secretary of State Rubio, the Pakistanis will travel to Iran today. It's like, I don't even know what that means. Like, how is that good news? Financial Juice. Financialjuice.com. Yeah, so that gamma positioning read is how Alma was doing like a educational exercise, and she was like, "Hey, can you guys come up with how to read this based on the daily positioning or the daily gamma levels?" And no one was able to interpret it the way that she was able to interpret it after she gave us the answers. And yeah, so using that, using her knowledge of it, or the example that she had shown, I basically reverse engineered and come up with this for today's positioning. And that's more or less what I was looking for. I just don't know, between that 73.90, 74.10, I'm not sure how to treat that, which is why like I didn't offer like, hey, this is going to be slow over here or something like that. Like I had no idea what to make of it. $73.90, $74.10, which basically has been our range since for the last hour now. And then I have a magnetic zone at 74.40. Yeah, and I would argue any peak, gamma peak or gamma trough is where the speed changes. Honestly, I didn't even think that news was good news. I think you have to enter your email for Financial Juice, and then you'll get the free version. Which I'm using the free version too. The only problem with the free version is, I think the news comes in, like the tape comes in a bit late. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Man, this is ugly. I don't even want to look at this on a 5-minute chart. Yeah, so one of the things that Chem talks about is that, and this is what I consider him like my teacher, if you will, and that's where I learned a lot of these principles with options. But with Chem, he likes to say that I guess most people think that options is a derivative of like the underlying. So for instance, SPX is the underlying, options is a derivative of it. But he argues that options is actually the underlying value, mainly because that's where everyone places their bets. And from there, you can take derivatives from the options. So now you're looking at the Greeks, and it tells you the real story about what's happening. Because options basically is a teller of everything, is his theory. So you can help like paint a nice picture of what's going to happen. And options basically also gives you a look at what volatility looks like. And you can see that based off of the different types of options positioning. Hence why I kind of moved over to the option side of things. Not so much trading it. I would take options trade if I think I have like an asymmetric trade, for instance. But more often than not, I'm trading futures from a day trading perspective. And part of my thing, like when people come here and then they talk about GEX, and in the past, like that's happened too before you jumped on. I would normally say like, hey, well, I would try to say that there's like a naive GEX and then a smart GEX, and it's all based on how the positioning is calculated. Is a positioning OI based, which is open interest based, or is it are they able to differentiate between a long call and a short call, and then a long put and a short put? Because there's really 4 ways to trade one specific strike. Because I guess I spent so long trying to use like what Spot Gamma had offered, which was naive GEX at the time. And I just couldn't find like a very consistent way to use it or to read it to help me. And it wasn't until Vol Signals jumped onto Twitter and started exposing these things, because he was a market maker. And from there, that's when I pretty much transitioned to using OptionsDepth, because it was the only platform that had offered smart, quote unquote, smart GEX. but it's definitely not easy to read like the other gex. Because when SPY gamma gives you a gex level, it's just like one line in this hand and you use it however you use it. Whereas like the smart gex, it changes with time. But even barring any changes in position. So if position stayed the same, you get these contours. You get these nice contours that are generated from that positioning. So like this is generated from the 7440 positioning. This green gamma peak. But it changes over time. But so far, we haven't really done anything. We've basically sat between 73.90 and 74.10, which is basically the influence from obviously the 74.40 here, the gamma peak, but also it was a direct influence of this positioning here. Which you can't really see in position size, but 73.90 to 7400, this was all customer shorts. So it's all slow price action around here. But over here, I didn't actually see a 74.10. And one of the things that I wrote about that specific position was I said it was a local customer short call spread or a long put spread. And it could have been a long put spread, which would be customers betting on downside. And the only reason why I say it could be a long put spread is because it was below the previous day close. So anyone that entered this position is betting on downside. Now this is just looking at the contours here, because this one here is a customer long position, which ends up being a negative gamma impact. So a gamma trough that you see here. Negative gamma impact for dealers. And then this is a customer short position, which is a dealer positive positioning. So a positive gamma impact. But these contours here, it basically tells you like the overall conglomerated positioning impacts that the dealer has to deal with, that the dealer has to hedge against. still want to give edge to the overnight low sweeping. But every time we're about to sweep, or every time we sweep some sort of previous low, for instance, the 945 low, we pumped up. We just pumped up on like some random news about how the Pakistanis will travel to Iran today. So you're looking at 7428 Koshik? 7428 ES, right? But it'll be about 7408. So that there, I would say there's some sort of peak gamma influence, or this put spread, this customer long put spread influence that all happens to kind of intersect. Interesting that you were able to kind of draw that out from the options positions or options volume, I would imagine. Based on updated positions though, 7410 was probably top side. Like this is noise to me right now. I still see the 7405, 7400 put spread, but we're starting to finally move away from it. If we do move away, I still think 7375 might be a good test spot. And then if I correlate that to the daily positions, because the daily positions matter, and you can kind of see that this gamma peak obviously matters today. It is the gamma trough here. The gamma trough is at 7352, but I was looking for some sort of bounce off of this level here, if we can ever get there. But right now we're just grinding out that put spread level that we were talking about. See, and you can see the put spread here too. So you see the pink or the red at 7408-ish. And then you see the blue, the dark blue at 7398. I guess I can zoom up right to it. And this is the influence of the, this is the negative gamma level. And what causes the negative gamma locally is 7405, 7410. These dealer negative positions. Dealer negative positions are customer longs, and customer longs are basically customer long calls, customer long puts. They're betting on either us to go up or down. And then the blue is normally generated from customer shorts, which are dealer longs. And customer shorts are premium harvesting. So they're selling volatility. They are selling premium. They're selling options. So they're collecting premium. And that has a positive gamma effect. So you can kind of see the influence of each of the positions there. And we're just kind of stuck here. You know what's weird, Koshik? I've had the people who drop in, there are a few guys or a few people that ended up subscribing. So like, even though I think you're right, most people are coming for the trades and they realize like, I'm not really taking a lot of trades, if any at all, some streams. But yeah, and then they leave. But there are some that are subscribing, which is very odd. Considering they're not interacting in the chat at all. $15-minute looks like a mess. And we're right back to 74.08. 74.28 on ES. That's a high volume level, right? I assume it's a high volume level that you're highlighting there at 74.28. It's also not too far off from the POC. That's epic. Don't worry. You'll see it again and you'll mark it again eventually on the next day. We moved about 30. Oh no, wait, we moved more than 31 points. We moved about 34 points so far. With the straddle of about 45 to start at around 9:30. It's not too bad. Oh, you gotta tell me. There's. So I was watching that movie. You- Bahubali, and I'm about halfway through. I think maybe just over halfway, and the maybe I'm just not used to how Bollywood movies go, but I thought it was like so crazy that they just like he started like painting her, and then she was attacking him, and then they just broke out to have this like sudden like song and dance and this sudden love for each other. Mainly because he found the mask that she lost, and then he climbed from the very bottom of that mountain to her, and I think that was the selling point. And then I think it's his original mother that's that's also captured, right? But what I don't know is like the difference between the people at the bottom of the mountain and the people at the top of the mountain. I don't think I quite understand that yet. So right now I am watching specifically the I don't want to mispronounce it. I know I'm just gonna butcher the language. Bahubali, the beginning. I'm currently watching that one. and I'm about halfway through that one. So I guess overall, I'm only maybe a quarter of the way through. But yeah, like it boggles my mind because I was just like, okay, this lady wanted to save her kid at the very beginning, her baby, and she prayed to the gods, I think. And then she died, or at least I thought she died. And she left the baby above. Well, oh, that was not her baby. I see. Gotcha. So is the mother then the one that's at the top of the mountain held captive? Like she was in chains, and she looked very evil. I can't even. Oh, yeah. She okay. That's the real mother. Okay. Gotcha. And is the dude a god? Like he was able to climb up this mountain unscathed, basically, and then he just like manages to save a statue from falling, and everyone started chanting Bahubali. Okay, I'll wait. I got so many questions, man. Is his father's name? I see. Am I supposed to know who the lady is right now besides his mother? Like, why is she being held captive? Oh, I see. His father used to be the king. I see. People down the hill does not know about the kingdom above. Gotcha. Oh, they're exaggerated. Man. Because I was like, what is happening right now? This guy like can hold up a massive statue that requires like hundreds of slaves to hold up. But that dude is a tank. And then there was another guy who was like wrestling like a bull elephant thing. I forget what it was. I think it was a bull. Had massive horns. It just, but it was like the size of an elephant. Oh, damn. Okay. I understand now. Okay. I'm starting to understand this now. This is like Game of Thrones. Right now, I don't know the significance of the girl and like who she's fighting. Like she's fighting a lot of the guys in the red garb and the yellow. I think they're yellow turbans. I'm watching it in English. there's no way, man. I had to rewind so many times. I was like, what is going on here? That's probably why. But I would not understand. I would not understand the Hindi version at all. Though it is a fun watch though. But I definitely felt lost until talking to you about it right now. No, I'm not watching with the kids. I gotta wait until they go to sleep. And then I might be able to fit in like a short period of time before my wife takes a remote control from me. Yeah, so the girl that he's in love with, I don't know what part she plays right now. And besides his love interest and what brought Bahubali back to the top of the mountain. And then she's always fighting someone in like red clothing, red garb, or reddish yellow garb, I think. Man, she seems so significant at the beginning. She's very attractive though. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. I see. So they are the rebellion. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm getting like crazy impressions today. Or like normally I don't get close to 20. We're already at 21 impressions. Mind you, only like 3 views from those impressions, but it's interesting that my feed is starting to come across people's timelines one way or another. And we'll see if we can build up a decent community to trade with, to talk about Gex with. Man, when they broke out in song and dance, I was like, I think this is Bollywood. Like, this is what Bollywood movies are about, right? Like, they always have the song and dance. And certain transitions, like, I'm actually not sure if it's a dream or if it was the past or if it's just exaggerated. And it turns out most of it is just exaggerated. Wait, how old is this movie? I thought it was like 2015 or something. If you're saying a movie from 2015 is old, I'm gonna lose it, dude. I just caught on. I guess it is 11 years old, but oh, I see. Gotcha. Yeah, that'll be another 3-hour movie, dude. And that'll take me like a month to watch. Oh no, it's actually gotten quite entertaining. Like, I was just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. I feel like a lot of things were lost due to translation and then also my interpretation of like scene changes. They, as you said, they exaggerate certain things. And then for me, I thought it was a dream or some sort of flashback or something like that. But in reality, it wasn't a dream. It was just an exaggeration and it was just a normal scene. I don't know. Because I think I think I generally watch like big hit movies, if you will, like blockbuster movies. Like I ended up watching like most of the Christopher Nolan stuff that we ended up talking about last time. But I think generally I gravitate more towards like a comedy, even like a romance comedy. Sometimes like, yeah. I think generally I prefer comedy over action. But I watch Marvel movies too, and I think those are generally action, right? But like I didn't watch the latest like Tom Cruise movie or like I think Oppenheimer would be considered a drama, right? I think my favorite movie is probably Everything Everywhere All at Once, with Michelle Yeoh. Likely because it as like an Asian American, Asian Canadian type of thing. It relates very well to our experiences. Yeah, I think that one won an Oscar too. Actually, it pretty much swept award season, if I remember correctly. But I think it kind of touches on the theme that, um, or it touches on the storyline of a, um, like a East Asian that immigrated over to America or Canada, whatever, um, and um, and had a kid, and then you kind of follow through that, and a lot of the problems occur from kind of like cultural differences, if you will. Because someone who's born in Canada would live like a Canadian. Like I would say I live like a Canadian or an American. Um, like very westernized. But my parents, completely different story. Like they have different values, and culturally things are different for them. So I thought the movie touched on that very well. But there's a lot of like R-rated stuff because it ends up being a comedy too. It's like a drama comedy, a dramedy with a bit of action, which is also very odd, and sci-fi. It'll blow your mind. When I was watching it, I was like, what the hell am I watching? Mortal Kombat 2 just got released in torrents. Man, you're trying to get me in trouble here. I was I don't did you watch the Mortal Kombat before? Like I assume it's like there was another Mortal Kombat. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point about Christopher Nolan movies. And that was just nuts. And then I would watch like, back then I would watch like Easter eggs, um, like heavy spoilers or something that broke down Tenet so that I understood it much better. And then when I watched it again, it was like that much more epic. But I don't think I've watched the original Mortal Kombat. Though I am interested in watching Street Fighter, but mainly because there's like a few WWE characters that are in it. So I kind of want to see how they act. And like the cast is actually pretty cool because you get a lot of like famous people. Like 50 Cent was in it. And Andrew Schultz. Right now, price action seems to just be hugging that gamma peak line on the daily. There's not much going on. I don't think I'm going to trade. Sure, I'll check it out. You can just tell me the name of it. I'm pretty sure I can find it on YouTube, I'd imagine. Oh, nice. It is on YouTube. I thought you were going to give me another torrent link. This song's not bad. Is this like a hip hop kind of song? Like a rap? He's a rock star with the rap star. Or the superstar. I assume the translations were correct. That was crazy. I guess I can tell why that would be a global sensation. It's so funny. That's pretty cool. I don't even know what type of music they listen to in Singapore. But I assume it's not Tamil. And that this hit was so big that it made its way over there. Yeah, I kind of figured that much. But they speak English too, right? Because I remember one lady that was staying here. She was here for like 6 months or something, and she spoke perfect English. Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But they're all like Chinese kind of descent. Yeah, I see. Anyways, I think I'm going to call this one here. There's not a lot going on. I just see a bunch of chop. And we're just grinding along that peak gamma line from the daily. Not straying too far off from it. So my guess is that the influence from that positioning at 74.40 is likely what's causing this. But the intraday positioning is a lot of noise now, so I can't really decipher what will happen. Or like, sorry, I shouldn't say I can't decipher. I can't find a high probability trade. Everything is low probability to me. So I'll probably just call it, and I'll watch the charts later on this afternoon after I have some lunch. Yeah, see you tomorrow.